In this video, we're going to be talking about inte, ingen, and other words like that. Let's get started. Låt oss börja. Hej och välkomna till Coffee Break Swedish. Jag heter Mark.
Och jag heter Lovisa.
And as I said, in this video, we're going to be answering a question from Søren, which is all about these little words, some negative words here. Søren asked, what's the difference between inte and ingen, and how are they used? Now, Lovisa, if I'm not mistaken, there's perhaps some other words we need to add in there. Is that correct?
Yeah, we kind of need to put these words into context.
Okay, well, let us do exactly that. I'll just bring the whiteboard on the screen. Go for it.
So the word inte, let's start with that. It translates directly to the English not.
Yep. Okay, so it's a negative, a negative that goes with verbs. Let's have some examples.
So for example, we can say jag vill inte spela fotboll.
Jag vill inte spela fotboll. I don't want to play football. Okay?
Yeah. So exactly.
Into there is not or do not. I don't is that negative part.
Yeah. And then we can also look at another example. So han går inte hem.
Han går inte hem. So he is not going home. Okay. Straightforward enough.
Yeah. And also hon köper inte mjölk.
Hon köper inte mjölk. So she is not buying milk. And again, that inte there means not. So in each case here, we've simply got a negative not to go with the verb. So I don't want to play football. He is not going home. She is not buying milk. So that's inte. Straightforward enough.
Exactly.
Okay. What's next?
So let's look at inget.
Inget. Okay.
And we have a few different forms of this word. We have ingen and inget and inga, actually.
Okay, so ingen and inga. Now, I think probably our listeners can see here we've got eng at the end there, et at the end here, and a at the end here. So I think there's something going on here with n words, et words, and maybe plurals.
Yeah, exactly. That's a bit of a clue.
Okay.
So all of these words mean none or no.
Okay. So give us some examples.
If we start with the N-word version, ingen, we can say det finns ingen boll.
Det finns ingen boll, you said.
Yes.
Det finns ingen boll. So there is no ball. There's not a ball there.
Exactly. Okay. So maybe that's why we don't want to play football.
Yeah. Okay. So ingen there, it's going with boll because boll is an N word and it means no ball. There's no ball there.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we can then look at the ett-word version, inget. So we can say Hanna har inget husdjur.
Okay. Hanna har inget husdjur.
Yeah.
So we've got a djur, which is an animal, and a husdjur is an animal in the house, so it's a pet.
Exactly.
And we know from a previous video that djur is an ett word, so we need to use this time inget. So Hanna has no animal or house animal pet. Hanna doesn't have a pet. Hanna har inget husdjur.
Exactly. And then we can look at the plural version, inga. And then we can say, for example, pojken har inga pengar.
So pojken, the boy, har inga is it pengar? Pengar. Okay, yes. So the boy has no coins, the boy has no money. And then our inga there is going with the plural form pengar. So the boy has no money. Right, so that's where inget, ingen, and inga mean no or not any, that kind of idea.
Exactly. We can also use ingen or inget as pronouns.
Okay, so ingen or inget, and this is when they're used as pronouns, so they're standing for something. When maybe we've already mentioned that thing, or it's maybe something that's understood. So can you give us some examples here?
Yeah. So ingen means no one. And we can use that as an answer to the question, vem pratar du med? Or who are you talking to? Ingen.
Okay, yes. Yeah. So vem pratar du med? Who are you talking to? And you're saying the answer would be there, ingen.
Ingen.
No one.
Yeah.
Right. So vem pratar du med? Who are you talking to? Ingen. No one. So if I asked you, for example, vad gör du? What are you doing?
Yeah, I wouldn't say ingen. I would say inget.
Okay, that makes sense. So, vad gör du? What are you doing? And you're saying inget, nothing. So I'm seeing here that obviously ingen is the N part, so it's about people and so on. And then the et part is about things. So vem pratar du med? Ingen, no one. Vad gör du? Inget, nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel I've learned a lot in this. I hope that Søren also feels that you've learned a lot about inte and ingen and inget and so on. Now, if you have a question like Søren, then get in touch with us. Go to coffeebreakquestions.com and you can leave your question there. We'll hopefully be able to include that in a future episode of the show. And if you've enjoyed the show, of course, you can give it a like and make sure you subscribe to our channel and click the little bell icon that appears. That way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.
And don't forget to put your own example sentences using the words ingen, inget, inga, and all the words that we've been going through in this video in the comments below.
Jättebra. Okay, thank you very much, Søren, for your question, and we'll be back soon with more Coffee Break Swedish. Hej då!
Hej då!